Hi folks, the Filipino P here. And we all know about modern women being the ones to initiate so many divorces. But why is it happening? Women seem to have every advantage lately, and yet they still don't seem very happy. So what is it this time? Well, according to them, the answer is really simple. So to find out what's going on, let's listen to a divorce attorney that claims to know the answer.
70% of divorces are initiated by women. And as a divorce lawyer, I can tell you that women are not divorcing men because they're bored or ungrateful. They're divorcing because they're tired of doing everything. But why? What is making these women walk away in such high numbers? Well, the answer is simple. Women are expected to work like they have no children and parent like they have no job. They're expected to be the emotional support system, the household manager, the one who remembers birthdays, doctor's appointments, and what shoe size the children wear. Women are not leaving because they hate marriage. They're leaving because they're exhausted. They're tired of being expected to handle everything while their husband thinks he's helping when he loads the dishwasher once a week. Most women do not leave for another man. They leave for themselves.
Okay, this just blows my mind because as a Filipina, we don't mind doing the household chores, even by hand, as well as taking care of our family and holding down a job if necessary. And somehow we manage to do it with a smile on our faces. Handling the household duties is our love language. And after having grown up in a place with no clothes washer, I can safely say that you modern women have absolutely no clue how easy you have it. And let's not pretend it's some huge energy expenditure to remember a birthday or a shoe size. If you want to have a real problem on your hands, try taking that duty away from a Filipino mother. So let's hear from another woman who really seems to resent her lot in life.
My husband and I had 4 kids. We both worked full time. We had been together for 16 years at this point. We've been together since high school. And on paper, I have an amazing husband. He is incredibly supportive. He's kind. He's loyal. He's a great dad. He's very hands-on. He's an active participant. He's always present. What else could I ask for? But I was incredibly frustrated. Women tend to carry a disproportionate amount of the work in the home, the work of raising kids, and the mental load. I remember looking at my husband and saying, I need more. I need you to do more. Every night, when we cook dinner, you ask me what to make. Every day, when you drop off the kids at daycare, you ask me what they need in their backpacks. And he looked at me and he said, okay, just tell me what to do. Just tell me what to do and I'll do it. And I said, okay, something that would make my life easier is if in the mornings when I came downstairs with the 4 kids, the dishwasher was emptied, the dishes were put away, and the trash was taken out. And he said, yeah, of course. What? Yeah, I'll do that. That's no problem. And so, of course, he does it. But then I have to remind him, and then he forgets, and then I have to remind him again. And there was this one morning where I woke up. I went to put something in the trash, and it was overflowing. And I went to get my son's water bottle, and it was in the dishwasher with all of the other clean dishes. And I felt so disrespected and unseen and unvalued at that point in time. And I remember texting my husband being like, what happened? Like, why didn't you do this? And he said, sorry, I was running late for work.
Am I in the twilight zone right now? So let me get this straight. You have this near-perfect storybook husband who offers to help you any way he can, including cooking dinner. But since he's not a mind reader and asks you what you want to eat, it pisses you off? And when you didn't have the time to empty the trash or take the water bottle out of the machine, it's time to think about ending the relationship? Now, I certainly don't have a problem with needing a husband to help out when you got 4 kids, but to consider divorcing him because he didn't have the time to empty the trash? Seriously? Sounds to me like you have a great guy, and if you don't want him, I can think of about 20 million Filipinas that would. So I got to thinking, is this really the way most women feel? That what they really want is housekeeping services? And what do they think men want in return? Well, there's only one way to find out. So let's go talk to random people. Why do you think wives divorce their husbands?
From what I've seen a lot, mainly because the husband's not doing the work anymore. He's not putting the effort. They just leave all the housework for the wife.
Some women are divorcing their husbands because they're not doing enough house chores?
Yeah. And if he's not interested in just staying and not putting any effort, I just think maybe it's time for you to see separate ways. Maybe it's better, it's healthier. Maybe there's less fights because often these types of arguments can cause fights. Not having doing the house chores or not changing the baby's diaper or something. And I think that's just most of the reason why people are saying, hey, let's just get a divorce at this point. I don't see any continuation of this.
Okay, so if the husband does the changing the diapers, cleaning the house, cooking, do you think that would make him less masculine?
For me, no, I think that makes him more masculine because you're able to just do the work. That is dirty work. I mean, do you understand how hard it is to take care of a child?
So is it also okay for the wives to do the lawn or fix the car, or
Yeah.
do the plumbing, that kind of stuff?
Yeah.
So
If the husband sometimes, sometimes men are not really that good at that stuff.
Okay.
Sometimes let the wife do it, but the husband does all the laundry and all the cleaning.
do you know how to fix a car?
Somewhat, yeah. And also you have YouTube, you can just search something.
What should a woman do to keep her husband happy?
Make sure there's that equal standing, there's that communication that says, hey, I want this to happen, but I
Okay.
need your help as well.
Okay, so communication.
Yeah.
What about physical intimacy? Do you think it's important?
I mean, depends on the two people, but I think it can be.
Wow, she feels the same way. If a guy's not doing the dishes, you might want to think about ending the marriage and kicking him to the curb. Now, she didn't look like an auto mechanic to me, but I'll give her the benefit of the doubt. Let's get real though. How many wives are actually willing to get under the hood of a car and change a spark plug? Are you married?
I'm married, yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
congratulations.
Thank you.
So, why do you think men divorce their wives?
Most of the time, I think they're looking for a younger partner.
Why younger though?
It makes them feel younger, I think. It's just, with a guy, I think like after a certain amount of time, it just gets too familiar with the same woman and they just feel like they need something different.
A variety.
A variety, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And usually they're gonna look for like a younger woman who's like making them feel younger too.
But why divorce their wives? Just do it secretly.
Well, some guys do that. Some guys do that, but, eventually I think it's going to just come out, It's like a guy with a car, after like 10 years or 5 years, it's like, I'd rather get something new, like a sporty, flashy car, you know what I mean?
New car smell phenomenon. Okay.
Right.
Why do you think most women divorce their husbands?
Women love romance and they love to be romanced and, sex in there as well. But
Okay.
I think they are just looking for a lot of attention, a lot of romance. And just, they love it when they first meet a man and it's really great and they're doing,
Again, it's exciting at first.
Exciting at first and then, it kind of like fizzles out after a while. So I think they just want to renew that again and just kind of get back to that exciting kind of period again.
Then what should a man do to keep a woman happy?
A woman always loves to feel beautiful and the man
Right.
should always be like, oh honey, you're so
Validation?
beautiful and I love you and I wouldn't want to see another woman.
But what if your wife kind of gained weight? Would you still say, oh honey, you're so sexy and yummy?
Absolutely. You gotta, roll with the punches. I mean, the guy's not gonna be attractive forever either. So, it's just kind of a give and take with that. So,
Okay.
Yeah.
If your husband asks for a divorce, what do you think his reason would be?
I would say not being as considerate as I should be, whether that comes to helping out with finances or around the house maybe.
Okay, so he wants to divorce you because you're not earning as much as he.
No, I would just say maybe not being as I guess even when it comes to finances and also helping whether that's doing the dishes or laundry.
All right. So, in your opinion, why do you think most women divorce their husbands?
I would say for exactly what I just said actually.
Okay.
They probably don't feel as though men are as helpful as they should be.
Don't you think it's kind of ironic though? Because if they divorce their husbands, then they're going to be alone taking care of the kids.
Yep.
So, what's up with that?
I don't really know. That is kind of ironic now that you say it out loud.
Would you say it's okay to split 50-50 when it comes to house chores, taking care of the kids?
Absolutely.
So would you say that it's okay for the women to protect the household if there are intruders? It's like, husband, sit down. I got this. I'm gonna get the bat.
I would say if she has more experience with that wholeheartedly, then yeah, if she knows in her own mind that she's able to protect herself and her family, absolutely. But as a woman, of course, if you don't have experience with something like that, of course you're gonna want your husband to take care of that.
Do you think women still appreciate masculine men?
Of course. Yeah. I think that it's not even about just being masculine anymore. It's more so just this toxic mindset of men just thinking like their only use is being providers for women. But with that, I feel like their mentality has shifted a lot more, where it's not even being a provider. It's more so just somewhat owning other women and what they're doing with their lives.
So what do you think men want from women?
I don't really know. Like, they're not as communicative as women are. Like, you know, when we feel something, we're able to express it easily. I mean, it takes, like, for a woman to speak up finally, for a man to finally say what he wants as well in that moment, which kind of contradicts how she feels. So I'm not entirely sure exactly what a man wants in order for him to stay happy.
And this woman sees the world through a female's eyes. Notice how she said a man would divorce his wife because she didn't earn enough or do as much housework. Now, I've talked to a lot of guys, and I've never heard anyone complain about their wife not earning enough. That's almost exclusively a female complaint. But at least she admitted she had no idea what men really want in order to be happy. To be young and naive again.
Why do you think most women divorce their husbands?
I would say always looking for something more, not satisfied.
Why do you think men leave their wives?
I'd say respect. That sounds like basic, but like a lack of respect, or like not being heard and not getting what you need out of the relationship.
Some men are being divorced by women because they're not masculine enough. What do you think that means?
Can I swear?
Sure.
I think that they're pussies and they need to be men.
Yeah, I mean, I like my man manly, so...
Well, that's what we are. That's what you're supposed to be as a man.
Exactly.
I'm traditional. There's traits that I think women should have, and then there's traits I think men should have. There's stuff that you should know how to do as a man and stuff you should know how to do as a woman, I think.
And sad to say, some men are not really keen to learn the basic manly, I don't know, things to do, like changing car tires and
Exactly.
stuff like that. Okay.
I agree.
In your opinion, do you think it's okay to have 50-50 when it comes to household chores?
Completely. I think that, yeah, you should definitely work together because you're both living there. You're both making the mess, but you should both have to clean it. I think, yeah, completely. I agree that it should be split.
Split. Okay, so would it be okay for the women to do the lawn, to have the car fixed, or?
I think that it's important that a woman like knows how and has the knowledge to be able to do those things, but
Right.
in my personal opinion, that's something that I think that the man should just pick up and deal with.
Right, because you guys are, yeah.
We're physically built different. I'm a bulkier man. Here, I'm standing next to you. I'm a little taller. I'm a regular sized guy. I'm a little taller. I'm a little stockier. That's just how nature, how we're made.
So what should a man do to keep their wives happy?
I would say, yeah, communication is huge. Not just, hey, how's your day? It's, hey, where's your head at?
Okay.
Like,
But would you believe a woman though? Because when we say we're fine, we're not really fine.
if you annoy them enough, they're gonna tell you the truth eventually.
Okay.
You just gotta be persistent.
Okay, so communication.
Exactly.
Okay, so what about intimacy?
I think intimacy is very important. I think that's also another conversation you need to have. You need to be open about it and just understand what your partner likes, have them understand what you like. But I do think that is, you can't be romantic without someone, without
Intimacy.
being intimate with them. Exactly.
So that was a more traditional guy who's not afraid to help around the house, but thinks that men and women have different strengths and different responsibilities. Like the other guy, he recognizes the importance of physical intimacy, which hasn't even been mentioned by the women so far. Maybe we'll get lucky with this one.
So why do you think women divorce their husbands nowadays?
They're not getting enough, like what they need out of the marriage. Like they're having kids and they're just doing all the work.
Okay, so if the woman and the man, they have jobs, you know?
Yes.
Would you say it's fair for them to share husband chores?
I would, yeah, if they're both working, yes, absolutely.
For those women who divorce their husbands because their husbands are not doing the dishes or whatever, throwing the garbage, how is it better when they're alone with the kids?
It's not better, but it's one less stress of like having to remind somebody, like another child, to be like, can you do this? Like it should be unspoken.
Okay, so it's like one fewer child to deal with.
Yeah,
Okay.
Exactly. Why do I have to remind you in a partnership?
Okay, so they should just know
Right.
automatically.
Yeah.
Okay, So, in your opinion, what should a woman do to keep her man happy and satisfied?
I try to do like acts of love,
Acts
Like,
of love? Okay.
Just go the extra mile.
Ooh, extra mile. You're gonna walk 500 miles.
And there's that claim again, that it's better to raise your kids alone on one paycheck than it is to have a husband who doesn't do housework. I must admit, I had no clue how important this was to Western women. As for me, I don't want a man in my kitchen. That's my domain. But apparently, I'm guilty of old-fashioned thinking. But at least she was willing to go the extra mile to keep her man happy.
So, if your wife asks for a divorce, what do you think her reasons would be?
She hates me.
She hates you?
Probably hates me.
Okay.
Probably hates the living crap out of me.
Why do you think that is?
Because I'm a guy and I'm very masculine, I guess.
So,
Too masculine for her.
Too masculine for your wife. What does that mean?
Too much work. With the way the economy is and you got so many bills, a man's got to go out and provide for the house. You pretty much got to walk out that door every single day. I mean, that's the whole reason you get with a man, right? You want to be protected. If someone comes into the door, you want the guy to grab a shotgun.
What should a woman do to keep her man happy?
Just rub his back,
Rub his back?
Be proud of him. When we come home, I think a woman should, be just nurturing. I mean, that's just literally what we want. I mean, you ain't got to be nothing special. The dinner ain't even got to be that great. It can be burnt a little bit. I don't care. Just hold me, rub my back. Yeah, I'm gonna be a real big baby. Just give me some cough medicine. God.
Oh, you poor baby. Come on, let me rub your back.
Yeah, I mean, see, that feels good already.
I can't really see this guy wearing an apron, but I do agree with him about one thing. If there's a noise at night, I want my husband to be in front. I'll back him up with a curling iron and a can of hairspray, but any woman that thinks she can defend the family against a home intruder's been watching too many Hollywood movies where the kick-ass female ninja assassin wipes out a whole squad of heavily armed men twice her size in hand-to-hand combat. It just ain't gonna happen. But maybe this last woman's got a few words of wisdom.
So, if you were married and your husband said, I want a divorce, what do you think his reason would be?
He probably found someone 15 years younger than me.
Oh no, okay.
Because they want something younger and more attractive. Look at all the movie stars, that's exactly what they're doing. Yeah, Nicolas Cage and some of the NFL owners, so Bill Belichick, that sort of thing. That's what I'm thinking.
Okay, what about Leonardo's taste?
Yeah, Leonardo, another example. So that's definitely a trend. So I think in our culture, men see that either in magazines, on the TV or whatever, and they want it too, so they go for it.
Do you think it's okay if they're rich, it's more acceptable? What if it's just an average Joe?
I think it doesn't matter. I think obviously it would be easier to get someone younger if you're rich because they'll follow the money. But I also think that all men would want something younger, whether they have money or not. So,
aside from wanting younger women, what do you think the other reasons why husbands leave their wives?
I think they want a more vibrant sex life. Vibrant, yeah. So
Elaborate.
I think that women kind of fall into the whole reasoning of they have to take care of everything household-wise. So they're cleaning, they're cooking, they're taking care of the kids, they're driving the kids places, and instead of asking for more help, they become run down. And then they might not be as fun and spicy in the bedroom and outside of the bedroom, and I think that guys kind of get fed up with that over a while. You want to have everything be 50-50 split and you all have your chores that you do, but it's weird being a woman because we always want things done a certain way.
Yeah.
And we can't give the control up to to the man to do it.
Yeah.
So then we feel like we have to do it, even though we don't. We don't.
Okay.
But yeah, that's what I feel like happens.
Why do you think women divorce their husbands?
Maybe the husbands have taken up hobbies and they're away from the house a lot, going to sports events, so going to watch football at the stadium and things like that a lot. And then the woman just feels like she's not seen or heard, not validated in the relationship, and she might also feel like she's doing too many duties and taking care of too many things and not getting the support from the guy. So I think maybe she would get fed up with it.
What can the husband do to keep his wife happy?
Spending time together is more important to me than materialistic things, but not all women are like that, so.
Yeah, totally agree.
Yeah.
I'm kind of clingy too. I mean, to a fault. Okay. Yeah, I kind of like the attention and just the quality time compared to, extravagant, going out and stuff like that. But just cuddling, really.
Okay, now this woman's pretty much right on target. She understands how a lot of guys think, and even though she talks about women getting burnt out by housework, she doesn't blame the men for it. And she understands the frustration guys feel when their wives aren't spicy anymore. Best of all, she admits that women say they want help, but end up doing it themselves because they don't want to give up the control of doing things their way. And like we saw at the beginning, if a man can't read minds, he's gonna get in trouble anyway. It sounds like the only thing that'd make women happy is if they married each other. I'm sure they could divide the work just fine, and everything would be perfect. But wait a sec. Lesbians have the highest divorce rate of all, which just goes to show that even they can't please each other. Now, I don't have a problem with a 50-50 partnership, where the husband and wife help with the chores, but can't we both just contribute the things we're best at and not worry about having the exact same duties or keeping score of who does what? Do we have to be clones of each other with nothing that makes us different except what's between our legs? No thanks. That's not the life for me. I'm happy to be the woman if you'll be the man. Well, that's it for this episode, and please stay tuned for a very important announcement. Till next time, folks. As the folks on my Patreon channel know, I'm getting ready to leave Florida in a couple weeks and start my American travels. I'm planning to head west, driving all the way to Texas and visiting the states along the way. I'll also be meeting many of you guys that offer to tour me around and point out all the amazing stuff to do. So I'm gonna document my adventures and show you America through the eyes of a Filipina. Since it's virtually impossible to make 2 good videos a week while I'm spending most of my time driving and checking into hotels, I decided to cut down to 1 video every Friday while I'm here in the US. And for those of you who might miss your double shot of pee, I have good news. I'll be focusing on my Patreon channel and posting even more behind-the-scenes videos while I'm on vacation. You'll also get to chat with me on the site every day. So if you want a little more pee in your life, I'll see you on Patreon. For everyone else, I'll see you next Friday. Have a great Memorial Day weekend, and you never know, I might just show up at your house for a hot dog. If you think about it, I'm kind of like the girl next door. No costumes, no superpowers, just someone who keeps their eyes and ears open and knows how to get you the information you need when trying to learn about life in the Philippines. I'm familiar with Western culture and I know my own, so I can be a valuable resource when it comes to all things Filipino. If you enjoy my channel and want to help it grow, please hit the thumbs up button on this video, subscribe to my channel, hit the notification bell, and consider checking out my Patreon page where you'll find extra content and exclusive videos and features. You can rest assured that I'll be bringing you fresh, high-quality content, and while you're waiting for the next one, check out some of my other videos as well. See you around the neighborhood. Oh, I almost forgot. Can I borrow a cup of sugar?